Okay, I was on some non-Stanford listening. Well, I like my sister. Yeah, she's a great example for me. She reads her scriptures. He goes to church, and she goes to mission to Texas, McAllen, Spanish speaking, and she does fun things with me, and she goes to movies and hang out, right, parties, and very happy to meet hang out. Very happy married Ian and Lis.
Why do you like Ian? You told me why do you like Ian?
He's cool.
Those are Mark's words.
Yeah.
Not scripted.
Those are his notes, so
He texts me all the time. And as I listen in, it's your year of the time, 2008, December the 5th. So you should get married tomorrow when you go to the temple. So I'd be happy to. So Ian and Lis, good luck to yourself.
This guy's awesome.
We should have had him the last one.
Can't top that. My name is Alex. He's the younger brother, and I came to know Lis a little bit this summer, and had to approve of her before he could convince her to marry him. And before I tell the story of how they tied the engagement knot, the proposal story, here's how Lis won in my book, is I met her, I think she had me over to dinner the first night I met her, which was good, and then every night after that, awesome, and it was really good food. But I think the deciding factor was one night when I was out on one of my dates that I go on with Ian and Lis, because I've been on a couple, 3-person dates. I think Ian said, let's get ice cream or something, and I'm used to girls that, want the fancy yogurt red mango is like $5. And she's like, right, bro, we're going to Maverick. She gets a big 32-ounce thing of Coke and a cheap yogurt, and I was like, oh, this girl's legit. I like it. So, and I think she's brought me a Coke from Maverick about every time she's ever visited. She brought me one last night, and that's all you gotta do. And you're in. But Ian had me participate in his shenanigans. He also had a spreadsheet. Actually, this is legit. He had an itinerary for the night he was going to propose. He emailed it to me, and with lines that I had to say over the phone. And he gave me the freedom to improvise a little bit. But they went and watched a play up in the mountain at Sundance. And the deal was, my car was supposed to break down, and I was supposed to call for help when he texts me the word "go." Or again, texting is a big part of Ian's life. So at exactly 9:42 on the dot, I was waiting in my car and Drake read a specified location. He was gonna do this thing under a, I don't know what it's called. Pavilion. And so I had to play this game. So he texts the word go, I call. From the get-go, we had a different plan. I think Liz answers the phone. Hello, how are you? So I've had no one more excited to talk to me ever in my life. And she kind of caught me off guard. And I just said, oh, my car broke down. And I was supposed to, the deal was I was supposed to try to convince her to not ruin their date and come pick me up and help me out. But before I had a chance to do that, she said, oh, well, we'll be there in 10 minutes. Do you want a Coke? And so naturally, her awesome attitude, I didn't even have to act because I was just so quiet and shocked anyway, so I think she believed it every second. And I was on patrol there at the park. I had at least 5 different couples that came wanting to whatever. I didn't tell them, look, my brother's going to propose to a girl, I need to leave. And they said, oh, that's cute, can we watch? Just come back later. And so I think the plan was going well, and they finally came. I think right when they came, another group of kids came, but Ian, I don't know what he said, but when Ian got out of the car with his backpack on and had his huge ring box in it, I think she caught on, why do you need the bag? He said, oh, they're tools to fix our car. Ian's quitting. And so, finally, when they got the pavilion alone, I went to go to my car and I studied and I let them, whatever, propose, and I didn't watch because it was private, but I think she said yes, I think. And then it was just a funny time, and it was very Ian Miller-like. And but I would just like to tell Liz that I love her and that she's won my affection with food and love and happy attitude. Ian also reads the scriptures. Serve a mission in Massachusetts.
Spanish speaking.
Spanish speaking.
He's not very good.
He's not very good at it.
Oh, you're right.
What he said is profound. Tomorrow is your guys' day, so enjoy yourself and I love you. Congratulations.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Turn it on. Did you turn it on? I turned it on. Yeah, sure.
I'm a serious guy. If you understand, I'm the oldest of 10, and I'm the compulsive and work anyway. I don't know that I could top the humor. There's probably a lot of funny stories I could tell. But it's interesting, I guess, from a parent's perspective to watch their kids grow and mature and whatever else. And, you know, after she came back from her mission and wondering about marriage, I think Ian knew much earlier in the relationship than Elizabeth did. I think...
Roommates know.
Yeah.
They were in on it too.
No, I'm just, there's nothing quite like a mother-daughter relationship, in the sense of texting and emails and conversations that go back and forth. And, early on, there was somebody, Lizzie's mad, and I don't know, maybe. And so I did, being the philosophical father, well, look, it's either going to work or it's not going to work. But anyway, he persevered, and we're grateful for that. So way to go. We have 6 children, and Susan and I are extremely blessed with 6 children. And we are also blessed with those who have already married with 6 wonderful in-laws, in terms of daughters-in-laws and sons-in-law. And we mean that sincerely, and we consider Ian to be our son as we do the others who have joined our family. I guess the first time I really met you when you came up for Daniel and Mark's graduation. Ian won the jumping contest in our family. We have Mary takes pictures. Or did you win it? We have a family room, and there's kind of an arch that goes past that, and people would run and jump, and I can't jump anymore. And all the ladies try, and Rachel tries, and Lizzie tries, but the two real jumpers are Cody and Ian. And they can really jump. And it finally got to the point where I had to go up above on the second floor and lean down over. And this actually, you know, it was so close it really was kind of a photo, but I don't know. Well, it's his night, Cody. We'll give it. One of the other things that he participated in right away, we had a marshmallow fight that night. Strawberry marshmallow. We had big strawberry marshmallows, and we just throw them around the house because you can't really break anything. So Ian participated in that. So anyway, we're just grateful that he is part of our family. We're grateful for the associations that come with that. We're grateful that both of them are worthy and desirous to do what they're going to do tomorrow and start a family of their own. We have, as I said, been richly blessed with our own children in that relationship and look forward to having him and Liz as part of our family. We're grateful to have you there. So.
Well, my brain is dead, so I have actually a piece of paper with notes. First of all, I just want to say thank you for everyone that has come from Texas and Arizona and all over the world. Not the world, but the country. We really appreciate you taking the time and effort to be here. It's really special that you've all come. So I've been thinking about names, and someone's going to be changing her name soon, and I started thinking about Ian first, and those of you that know Ian pretty well know that at times in his life he's been known as different things, and he in some ways has had kind of a little identity crisis, I think, growing up, not really knowing who he was. At first he was Iwi, and then he was Ian, Pea, and Puddin' and Pie, kissed the girls and made them cry. And then he was, at about 4 or 5, he was so good and righteous and obedient that we called him Nephi, and then we combined Nephi with Ian, and it became Neon. And then he went to the Three Amigos stage, and he was like Dusty Bottoms or whatever. And then in high school, he was Nick of the Backstreet Boys. I'm sure you all know that. And then he was Elder Miller on a Mission. And in college, I don't know what he was known as, and I'm not sure I want to know. I'm not sure about his identity in college, but I'm sure
A cougar. How about
Anyway, I feel like, okay, Ian's finally 25, and he has finally kind of found himself. And I think that is due to Liz and the love and security that she gives him. And I feel like he's finally Ian Miller, Mr. Ian Miller, and going to marry a beautiful, beautiful woman. So then Liz, the interesting thing about Liz's name is that there has actually been, and we call her Lizzie. So if some of you remember, there has been another Lizzie in Ian's life when he was 4. You're going to say it tonight. When Ian was 4, he had to perform before the whole city of Roseville, and he had memorized this very long poem called Lizzie, I can't get enough-ski of Lizzie Patufsky. But right before he was to come on stage, he got stage fright because as you know, he's a very sensitive boy. And he could not walk on the stage. So so his dear cousin Paj said so there has been another Lizzie before you. The other thing about Liz's name is, her name is Elizabeth Taylor, as you know. And I was thinking today about Grandma. Now, Grandma Donna, you guys don't know, but Ian's grandma is kind of on the flamboyant side and a little bit of a bragger, and everything to her is, if it's worth anything at all, it's glamorous. So I was just picturing my mother hearing that Ian Miller was going to marry Elizabeth Taylor. She would be on the phone to every old friend of hers, bragging about our family and Elizabeth Taylor.
I think she is right now.
I think she's up there doing that. Okay, so Liz, I have spent not very much time with Liz, but a few weekends that we've done some fun things. And the first time was wonderful. We went to the Magic Castle in Hollywood. And Liz, before we went in, Ian said, you know, Liz does not like to cause attention. She doesn't like to be on stage like Ian does. And he said she would die if she had to participate in any of the magic, you know. So we go into this theater of like 200 people, sit down, and the first person the magician pulls up out of the audience is Liz. And I knew she was dying, but she was the Vanna White of the magic show. She was so classy and made a 5 of diamonds appear on a piece of toast out of the toaster. She did all this magic stuff that none of us could figure out. Anyway, she was such a good sport. Grandma Donna would have been really proud of her professionalism. And then the next time, and this is really what sold her to me, is we had a weekend where Alex had come home from his mission and I was having a major meltdown. And Liz, the whole weekend, I was having, you know, food for 30 people and blah, blah. And she went to the store for me 4 times that day, because I couldn't remember. She made punch. She and Ian did dishes all day, all night. And here's the thing. When they stood at the kitchen sink doing dishes, the music was on and they were dancing as they were washing dishes and bumping hips with each other. And I thought, you know, someone could tell me that she was smart, that she was beautiful, that she was righteous, all those qualifications, and when I saw her bumping hips, dancing while doing the dishes, I knew that she would be a wonderful wife. So I really have grown to love her and can't wait to get to know her better as our families merge together. So the last thing I want to say is, lately in California and Arizona, we've been fighting for marriage. And it's been a pretty interesting experience, and I know a lot of you have been doing the same thing. But I'm not going to bear my testimony, but but I am going to say that I've come to realize just over and over again the importance of family, the sanctity of marriage, and I know you guys are made for each other, and I'm just so proud that you're making this choice, you've made this choice and done all the right things to get there. And you know, in our church we don't often say eat, drink, and be merry, but tonight I'd like to say to this couple, eat, drink, and be married.
Is it Chris's turn?
Chris?
Chris?
Yeah.